What's up, everyone? This is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. You saw the thumbnail, so you know exactly why you're here. Please hit the like, subscribe, and that notification bell because that is how others find me here on YouTube. Thank you to all of you for watching my videos and for rocking with me, okay? I have a little bit of a sore throat, so I have a cough drop, but hopefully that is not a problem, okay? But let's get into it because Tamar is out here spilling the beans on everything, okay? She has blown the roof off the mother, in other words. Some stuff that may have been squashed is no longer squashed. Last night, if you guys were on my Facebook private page, it's called DyanaRozay Real Talk, you would have saw the video I dropped where Tamar is on Andy Cohen's after show. And she's asked by one of his audience members, who was the person you were talking about in your IG stories when you said there was a peach who tried to come after you, right? Everybody heard the story and everybody guessed, a lot of people guessed it was Kandi, but people were like, no, Kandi and Tamar are fine. They buried the hatchet on Big Brother. They're cool. There should be no problems. And they were just on tour together, right? Which is exactly where it happened. Or at least they were performing, not on tour. But Andy sat there. He pushed a couple of buttons. I thought it was Eva. She was like, it wasn't Eva. I thought it was it Drew Sidora? Wasn't Drew Sidora. It wasn't Kandi, was it? Like, this is just unbelievable that it would be Kandi. She was like, that's exactly who it was, okay? She actually sipped her drink in the affirmative, okay? So there you have it. She went on to say that it surprised her that Kandi actually came after her because she thought that they were cool. Y'all remember that emotional thing that happened after Big Brother? I think Kandi even invited her to her YouTube channel and they talked about it. Anyway, it was a whole thing. I know they have a lot of mutual friends and even they were happy. Like I remember Tiny saying, I'm just so happy that you guys are cool now so we can all, hang out and do stuff. Oh, child, it's exhausting. But some new details that that Tamar released this morning is that Kandi's man came after her. Apparently, during this altercation, this verbal altercation, where Kandi is, well, let's start from the beginning, okay? I am moving too fast. Y'all remember that Kandi did an interview sometime, I think in late October, November, and she was asked if she would ever mend things with Carlos King. And Kandi looked at the guy like he had two heads, okay? She was like, no, never, never, ever, 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 okay? And not only will I not mend things, but my husband will never mend things. So the beef they have with Carlos individually and as a couple, okay, is massive, okay? And a lot of people over the years have assumed it had to do with the rumor that Phaedra had put out there on the Real Housewives of Atlanta show. So if y'all don't remember that, you can Google it because it's all over the place. But basically, Phaedra said that Kandi and Todd likes to put a little something in people's cups and then take them into their dungeon and have their way, okay? But Kandi was pissed. She was crying like the ugly cry, tears. How dare you? Why would you ever say that? Do you know that could ruin my career? I don't even drink. Like she was hot and heated about it. And Phaedra sat there, stone faced. I think she started hugging Portia because Portia was crying. Or child, I've rewatched that scene several times. I'm not sure if Portia was really crying. Felt fake. And then there's a little part, if y'all go back and watch it, where Sheree actually bursts into laughter, but when the camera pans to her, she pretends like she's crying. She's like, "Whoa," and then she goes like this, and then pretends that she goes, oh no. It's a crazy scene. It was a lot going on that stage, okay? Either way, everybody thought that it had to do with that because Phaedra said later, not taking full accountability, she had gotten the rumor for someone else on the show. And so people were like, it was Carlos, okay? I think she said she got it from a producer and everybody thought it was Carlos. So Kandi, in the very interview where this guy's like, can you mend fences? She actually says, It was not Carlos who spread that rumor. I can't even believe people still think that. It was solely Phaedra. And, she moved on from that, but she said, my problem with Carlos, okay, my reason for never ever talking to him ever again is because he tried to steal me and my group's story right from underneath us. Never told us that he was doing it. He knows me. He knows us. He was doing certain things. I didn't like it. It was shady. And because of what Carlos did, the group actually reconnected, and they've been actually together ever since. Even with all the crazy stuff that we see now, uh, with or without Latasha, they have still been performing. So the group got back together. They did a reality show about it. I think it was called Just Kick It, or Just Kicking It. It was after the song, so it would have been Just Kick It. Just kick it. Anyway, I can't sing. They do the group on the show. I do recall Kandi going to Jermaine Dupri, who had the music that he was going to give to Carlos King, and he also had producer credits on the movie. The movie was never released. It was shelved. But Kandi was able to make up with Jermaine Dupri because he was like, listen, at the end of the day, you guys were never going to get back together. You're always fighting. All of this good music, people want to hear you guys. You're just going to let it die. And now you're, what's going to come of the group? People need to still hear Escape. You guys did amazing things, right? And he's right in saying that. But Kandi was hot. She let him have it. She let him have it on the show. She ended up getting over it with him, but she went to a lawyer. According to the interview, she went to a lawyer to see what she could do about Carlos King. Okay. And the lawyer said, you can't do anything about it. You are a public figure. And unless they said something completely, horribly untrue, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. That's the way it works. That's how the law is in America. So that's true too. I know a lot of people have been trying to figure out how to change the law, but the law has been First Amendment. If anything, and it actually fell for politicians. Like, people need to be able to communicate what politicians are doing to keep them honest, because politicians have a lot of influence. Sometimes things can go completely left, things can go great. But if I shook Barack Obama's hand and I wanted to write a book about it, I definitely could. I don't need his permission to do so. I shook your hand. I took a picture with you. I can tell this story. And in doing so, I might dig up some things about who you were in your childhood just to get to that handshake. That's how that works. But because celebrities, according to the law, celebrities have the same kind of influence as a politician, so they also fall under that umbrella. They can be talked about, movies can be made about them, books can be written about them. And I guess Kandi did not know that prior to going to the lawyer. But most people, I learned it in social studies, I think sixth grade. Anyway, I'm not trying to even be mean. I'm just saying that that is true. Anyway, fast forward a few days after she did the interview, maybe the next day after she did the interview, Tamar, who works on Dish Nation, was asked, how do you feel about this situation? Him still in this life story. And everybody made a comment on it. But because Tamar and Kandi had some past history, some past bad blood, Kandi may have taken it some kind of way, like, how dare you basically, side with him or say that what I was saying was untrue. And it just unraveled from there. They ended up performing on some ticket together at a concert. Tamar said she ran over all happy to see her, went to hug her. And she said, I don't F with you. Move, going about your business. How dare you? I don't appreciate. Okay. Tamar, when she tells the story, it's super exaggerated. There's a lot of curse words in it, so I don't want to play it. But people ended up saying, Tamar, if Kandi and her husband came after you, there had to have been a reason. We know who you are. We've seen you on reality TV. We know how you provoke people. And they basically said she deserved it. Now, Tamar said that Todd walked up on her to get Kandi, basically to pull Kandi out of this little situation. But in doing so, he looked Tamar up and down and said, you know what it is, okay? You know what it is. That's, I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with hearing it. So I don't want a man walking up on me and saying it. Now, a lot of people are saying, listen, once he apologized, you should have never brought it up again. I don't know. I personally think people have a right to tell their story. If you did it, you can say it. Who cares? If you did something to someone and they decide to tell the story, they can tell the story. Now, if they've apologized and it was sincere, like, listen, let's squash the beef. I didn't understand it. We good now. Then she can end the story with, yeah, he apologized for it and we good now. But that's not what it sounded like happened. What it sounded like happened is her and Kandi are still at odds. She's still at odds with Todd. She went to her now fiance and said, this is what happened to me. This picture is a picture of JR checking Todd, letting him know he didn't appreciate it. And in the car ride where Tamar is live, he's saying men don't do that. He's on the side of her saying men don't do that. And that's why I checked him. I went to him about it. I stepped to him about it. And then Tamar had some things to say about people who were saying she deserved it. She said, I am the victim when your man steps to a woman. Sounds like an abused woman to me. See nothing wrong with that. Basically saying to all of those who's saying that, Todd had every right. She's saying, you sound like an abused woman. And then she said, I hope whoever it is isn't beating your A. I pray for your healing. Y'all, it has gotten pretty deep in the streets, but I just want to know, what do you guys think about all of this from here? I mean, again, Kandi has been every week for the last 3 weeks trying to clear her name from all the things that has been said about her with Latasha. She's been on there. Here's the receipts. I am vindicated under no circumstances. Did I? If you were going to pop off, if you were going to be a star, you would have been before now, right? I don't have anything to do with it. Now, Tamar isn't saying that she prevented her from being a star, but she has a problem with the fact that Kandi was okay with her man stepping to her. And y'all know Kandi's very protective of Todd, okay? Very protective of Todd. Y'all remember what happened on RHOA when Mal said something about Todd and Kandi said, I will drag you in this B, okay? So I am staying close to my phone to see what Kandi has to say about all of this. I would like to know. I personally think it's okay for her to share her story, for Tamar to tell her story. And it's okay for Kandi to tell hers. I mean, things happen to us all the time. We don't have to keep it quiet or out of the public because, some people don't want to hear it. It is what it is. It doesn't paint him in the best of light, but maybe some people agree with him. I don't necessarily agree with him, but I think that Todd and Kandi have a lot of bad energy and emotion around Carlos King and maybe anything that's said, or whatever they perceive as being disrespect. That's just how they react to it. So maybe this is a situation where Tamar's story is protecting them from something bigger. In other words, if someone else in another situation said it, maybe they will reflect on this and say, this isn't what we want to be out there in the public about us in the future. So you guys can let me know what y'all think about all of it in the comments. I did not play the video because for whatever reason, YouTube is being very, very particular on my channel about curse words, and it takes a lot of time to upload. So there was a few curse words in Tamar's video because I had it primed and ready to play for you guys, but when I always do a test run in the audio, did not work for me. So I am going to not play that, but you guys get the gist of everything. I will keep you up to date. Please hit the like, subscribe, and that notification bell. Let me know what y'all think about all of this. Was Todd wrong? Should Kandi have kept this quiet and off of social media? What do you think that Kandi is going to say in response to all of it? Okay, hit the like, subscribe, and your notification bell, and I will see you all